how will a government shutdown affect IRS operations? We are going to go over all of the resources that would be affected if there was a government shutdown, as well as what is the status of the government shutdown as we speak. We are going to cover that as well. Welcome back, everyone. So happy to have you back for another update. Now, the Internal Revenue Service had thought that they would not be affected by the government shutdown. They currently have roughly 90,000 employees, and they had expected to weather the government shutdown by using some of that 80 billion provided by the Inflation Reduction Act. But on Thursday, the agency released an update that if there was a government shutdown, they would furlough up to 2/3 of their workforce, roughly 60,000 employees. Guidance from federal officials state that the IRS could not use the funding from the Inflation Reduction Act to cover workers' salaries if there was a shutdown. The shutdown would result in backlogs at the IRS returning to high levels. Millions of tax refunds would not be issued to those late filers who will be filing soon. They have a deadline of October 16, but those taxes would not be able to be processed, and no one would be working to process any payments owed to the governments, as well as thousands of employees who staff phone lines to resolve your taxpayer questions. Among them, 6,000 newly hired customer service representatives would all be sent home due to the shutdown. Audits and other enforcements would also stop. The IRS would not be able to respond to your paper correspondence. For all of you that are under review and had to provide additional information, it would extend your delay even longer than that 120 days. A total of 365 taxpayer assistance centers would be closed, jeopardizing those face-to-face services. More than 10 million individual filers who receive extensions would not be able to file their taxes, as well as the IRS is reporting that they average 46,000 phone calls a day, and those phone calls would go unanswered due to a shutdown, as well as delays in processing already late 2022 tax returns. Now, the long-term modernization projects that the IRS is currently working on using the Inflation Reduction Act funding would continue. That means about 30,000 employees would be able to receive pay and continue to work on modernization in terms of the IRS technology being upgraded. Now, to the status of the government shutdown. Congress remained on track Friday to trigger a government shutdown after House Speaker Kevin McCarthy suffered another defeat when the chamber failed to advance a last-ditch stopgap bill to extend government funding past the critical deadline. Now, it is not clear if any kind of deal would be reached prior to a shutdown taking effect Saturday night. A number of House Republicans oppose additional funding for the war on Ukraine, currently holding this stopgap bill from proceeding forward. It would keep the government funded through November 17. Now, 21 Republicans crossed over to vote with every Democrat against the House stopgap bill on Friday in a 232 to 198 vote. So currently, it is still looking like there would be a shutdown. Please share with us in the comments how you are feeling about this potential shutdown. And of course, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell for more updates.